This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hey, Jody.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
It's going. We're here for another week. I'm feeling good. I'm alive.
Yes, we're alive and cooking. It's 90 some degrees here again in Portland, so nice
Cooking.
and sweaty.
You're not kidding about cooking. It is. It's definitely. It's a burner, and it's going to be that way for a while. So,
yes,
it's one of those things. I think summer is. It's telling us it's not gone yet, and
it's hanging on.
We got to enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, I know. Pretty soon we're going to be complaining about all the cold and rain. So
yes,
if it's not one thing, it's another. But yeah, it was a little unexpected. There was a couple of days of cooler weather that I was like, "Ooh, yeah, fall pumpkin beer, let's do it."
It was just trying to fake us out, I think.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well, speaking of things to complain about, let's talk about some news.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. You probably already saw this, but Gap is closing like 900 stores.
I heard something about that. Yep.
And we talked a few weeks ago about Men's Warehouse closing their stores and how that affects the big and tall customer.
Yeah.
There were definitely things with Men's Warehouse where it was something that could affect a bigger customer, but with Gap, it doesn't affect us quite the same way. At least for me, I'm not shopping at Gap. I'm not finding things in my size.
Yeah, I know that. Gap was one of my first retail jobs, so that's kind of a sad thing for me. But I know that they used to do extended sizes online, so that might still be an option. I honestly haven't been to Gap.com or anything in a long time. So
yeah, I think I want to say they go to 3X.
Oh, okay.
I think they don't make a really big deal of their extended size offerings. And, to be clear, I feel bad for all the people who work at Gap that are going to lose their jobs. That really stinks. And it's just with where things are right now, it seems like a trend, and that sucks.
But yeah, it's a scary time for retail. I work retail, so I'm always got my eye on what other stores are doing, what other companies are doing, and checking in with how our company's doing and stuff like that. So it's kind of anxiety-ridden time, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just I think retail is really gonna shift and have to really change and figure out what is gonna work, where the consumers are, and that kind of stuff. So.
This feels to me like a really good time for these retailers to try offering extended sizes. If they want to get people to come to their stores, why not try some of these things that maybe they haven't tried in the past? If they've got the inventory and they're selling it online, put some of that stuff in your stores, see what happens. I mean, I know for me as a customer, if I know that I can go somewhere and I can find clothes in my size, I'm going to go. I'm going to try it out. So that would be amazing to me to be able to go into a place and find something that I want to wear in my size. There are so few places that offer that it could be a good opportunity for some of these stores that, yes, they're closing and they're downsizing, and that's going to continue. I think what you said, we're going to see that continue. So they have to find ways to make it work and get people to come in their doors.
Yeah. It's just so unexpected. We don't know when people are going to shop. I struggle trying to make schedules for my store because it's like the last couple of weeks, Tuesday has been like our busiest day ever. And I'm like, what happened to Friday and Saturday used to be our biggest days, and now those are nothing. So people's shopping habits are completely different. The times of day, everything is really, so it's just trying to figure out what people are going to do, any kind of trends or anything. It's, like sales trends or anything. It's really difficult for these big companies.
Definitely. I think that we will continue to see more retail stores closing. I just think with everything that's going on with COVID and us having to be stuck at home right now, we're going to see this continue. And, the world is changing. The landscape is changing. How people buy clothes and buy any product is really changing.
Yeah.
So it will be very interesting to see where we're at toward the end of the year. I definitely don't think that Gap is going to be the last retailer that shuts down before
Yeah,
2020.
and they were struggling before all this happened, so it's kind of compounded itself on with the closing, the people not being able to go out. So it also, something to do with stuff that's going on before all this too. So,
Sure.
but yeah,
Right. Well, and we're gonna keep continuing on through more bummer news. Everybody, I'm sure, has already heard this, but Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther and many other amazing roles,
yeah,
passed away unexpectedly,
yeah,
and was 43.
yeah,
And
from colon cancer, I believe.
cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, and I think that kind of brings to light maybe some more testing needs to be done, more screenings. I think they don't really screen colon cancer until you're like 50 plus.
Right.
I haven't gotten any kind of testing, and yeah, he's 43. Did you say?
Yeah. 43.
So yeah, I think that's something that guys are going to have to go out and when they go to the doctor, make that a part of a regular physical, getting your colon checked, getting your prostate, all that stuff, getting more screening done is definitely something, maybe a positive outcome coming from that.
Yeah, it's I mean it was so unexpected for so many people, and I think that, when you look culturally at what Black Panther did for people, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked many times about how I love the comics, I love
Yeah,
I love the
yeah.
Marvel
It
stuff,
was
and
also an amazing
yeah,
movie.
yeah, and it's just when things like that hit, it rocks you in
Mm-hmm.
so many different ways, and it's such a shame to see someone like that, because 43 is young.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, to see that
He had a
happen,
big career ahead of him.
he did, and the craziest part is that he had known that he had it for years. It's
Yeah,
4 or 5
4 or
years.
5 years. Yeah.
And he made all these films and did all of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
without letting anyone know,
Yep.
and he was still able to power through and make this happen. And that
Yep.
is, I mean, it's really sad on one hand, but it's phenomenal on the other,
Yeah.
and it just speaks to his strength of character and who he was as a person. And man, I just, your heart goes out to their family and friends, but I think for you know all of us who are kind of, you feel real connected to people,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah, you get connected to the characters they played and the
yeah,
personas that they portray on in their public life. But I did see something that he posted, like recorded some videos of himself talking about different subjects, and he was really thin. He'd been going through chemo and all this stuff, and there was a lot of backlash for him, like what's going on with him, like the weight loss and all this
right,
stuff. And I was just like, that what is going on right now? Why are we? I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing right before, like I don't know if it was like a month or so ago,
sure.
but he posted some videos on Instagram or something, and people were just kind of freaking out about it.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that you don't really know what's going on with people in their
Mm-hmm.
lives,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that really covers the internet. We've talked in the past about how social media in a lot of cases can really make it look like everybody's got an amazing life and things are
Yeah.
great, and how it's not really the truth.
Well, yeah, yeah. People put their highlight reel on social media, so
Right. But it's also easy to just look at something and be like, make your own assumptions about a person or about what's going on in a situation with very little or no information. And yeah, it's then things like this happen, and man, it's crazy. It
yeah,
really is.
it's pretty sad.
So yeah, yeah. So those are really the big things that I saw this week,
Yeah,
and yeah, just thought we'd kind of throw them out there and discuss.
yeah.
So
Well, thanks for bringing that in today. I
yeah,
appreciate some topical stuff going on.
yes,
Maybe we can get to today's topic. We're going to talk about basically, does like fat positivity or fat acceptance, is that like anti-health? Is that like kind of putting any sort of stereotypes or putting anything away about fat acceptance? Like, are we making fat normal? Like, what is that doing?
right, right. There are these kind of movements, body positivity, fat positivity, all this fat activism. Uh, there's this idea that if you are that some people hold that if you are saying anything that's positive or good about bigger bodies, that you are glorifying obesity or that you're glorifying
Mm-hmm.
fatness, and it's all these bad negative things that you shouldn't be doing. And that is how some people justify bullying. They justify things that they say on the internet, things that,
Yeah.
taking it to another level that they probably shouldn't be. And so, we're just kind of talking about what that is and what that looks like. And I think what I would say first is, body positivity is important because regardless of your size, you should feel good about yourself. You should be
Mm-hmm.
allowed to feel good about your body, and you are allowed to feel good about yourself regardless of how big you are or
Yeah.
how small you are or whatever. That shouldn't be the defining characteristic of who you are and of your life. So that's really, to me, that's like the baseline of what body
Right.
positivity
Yeah.
is.
And I think, yeah, I mean, it's about, yeah, about accepting who you are, what you are, and loving it. Like, if you're a big person, you already know you're a big person, and you know that, you know, statistically it might lead to other conditions or whatever. But I don't think that we need to focus on that. That's the only thing. We already know we're big. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to keep hounding that I'm fat or big or whatever. Accept me for who I am, and maybe let's have a discussion about, like, if you're seeing your doctor or a health professional or whatever. Let's have a discussion about how we can have a healthier lifestyle or whatever. Not just you need to lose weight. Like, let's get beyond the just you need to lose weight conversation.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, regardless of any of that, you don't owe people health. You don't owe people a healthy lifestyle. You deserve dignity. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody deserves dignity, and I really feel like that is what it comes down to. And uh, you aren't less because you don't look like, a model
Yeah,
in a magazine
yeah, yeah.
or something like that. And there's so much of that that's pushed out there, and there are a lot of like preconceived notions around what it is to be a bigger person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does being bigger mean that you're not active, that you don't get out and exercise, that you don't do these things regularly?
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. There are many people who are out there who they run or they hike or they ride bikes or they do all these other things
Yeah.
that are active. They just happen to be bigger, and there's nothing wrong with that. I
Mm-hmm.
think society and pop culture and media tells us that there is one specific way to look and way to be. And more, we're in 2020, we're hopefully seeing that that is not true, that you don't have
Yeah.
to fall in line with everybody else to be worthwhile.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of almost one of the last frontiers of discrimination. You can still see people on TV or in the movies making fun of the fat guy or the fat girl or making fat jokes, and that's completely fine still. We don't do that about race or sexual orientation as much. But I think fat is still it's one of the last forms of discrimination that's still widely acceptable in
Sure.
in everyday culture. And it's just perpetuating, like you said, perpetuating a lot of those stereotypes. And it's I think it gets into like a weird cycle of hearing those things. As a fat person, you hear those things, and it makes it even harder to maybe to try, even if you wanted to lose weight, to do that, because you have that internal monologue of that I'm a joke or that I can't do it, or all that stuff is so complicated, and it makes it even harder to try and do something different, I think.
Right. When you're told that you can only be a certain thing, or that if you're bigger, you're only worth this, whatever that is, then if you hear that over and over and over, it's hard to not believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens, is people just start to absorb that stuff, and it is it doesn't help anybody. I don't think that berating people and knocking them down has ever really helped anybody feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at some of these shows that have been around, like The Biggest Loser or something, where they're yelling at them and they're demoralizing them and all of that, and like that's supposed to make them lose weight
Yeah.
and turn into a better person. I mean,
Yeah.
losing weight doesn't mean anything. It's not tied into, if you lose weight, you're magically a great person
Yeah.
who's contributing to society.
You can still be a shitty person if you're,
Yes,
no matter what size you are, you can be a shitty person. So,
exactly. On that note, we need to open our beers.
ooh, well, I already opened mine.
So did I, but yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yes.
I just opened mine.
Yep. All right.
I think I had this one. I'm starting to lose track. Maybe I need to actually look at my Untapped list before I start recording. I'm drinking Bear Bottle Company's MC Aromatics IPA.
Nice.
Ooh, it's a really good one from San Francisco. It has like this vitals on the side of it. All the IBUs and all these other things that I need to investigate, but it's
Just
amazing. I got to look at
I like the label. Are those grapefruits? Is that what I see?
I know, I was just going to be like, I got to look at the thing to remember what all of it is.
Ah, nice. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a citrus and sunshine, it says. Juicy aromatic wonder that will make you party like it's 1999.
There we go. Perfect. Good. Yeah.
It's very good. Yeah,
Nice,
I love it.
nice.
It's very
Nice.
citrusy.
Well, I went a little lighter this time around. For mine, I'm doing Schilling Hard Cider Passport Pineapple Passion Fruit. Yes. Wow. I know. I wanted something that was, I mean, it's hot. It's hot as hell here. So I couldn't see drinking anything that was much heavier than this. So, it's, what do we have here? Embark on a juicy trip. Well, I'm down with that. So,
Which one is it again?
It is
something.
Schilling Hard Cider Passport Pineapple Passion Fruit.
Okay, I was like, there's a lot of things in that.
Yes, a lot of peas, and it is. It's light, like I said. Let's give it a try here, and I can hopefully describe it a little better.
It's out of Seattle, Washington.
Yes,
6.7 ABV, so it's a higher alcohol content
for a cider. Yeah. It's good. It's got a little sweetness. It's got some pineapple to it. Pineapple goodness. You can definitely taste the passion fruit. It's a good mix. Sometimes these ciders are like way too much one thing or the other, or there's too tart, or it turns you off. And ciders, I'm on the fence about ciders usually, but I like this. This is very drinkable. It's one that you would probably enjoy even if you don't generally like ciders. So definitely worth a try. I feel like it's an easy drinking one. It feels like something that you might take camping with you, or if you're sitting outside on your deck, you might want to drink 2 or 3 of these. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your evening. So
take a picture of
yes
all of us drinking beers. Ooh, that's a hard one. That was weird. I was like, me and you in the camera. Okay.
There we go. I know, hard to get the shot. Yes. Yeah. So we have our heavy conversation beer list up on Untapped. If you're unfamiliar with Untapped, it is an app that allows you to track your beers. And Jody and I have been using it for a long time. We have lots of beers on our profiles, and you can see the things that we've enjoyed in past episodes, and give them a try for yourself if you can track them down. You usually can. So Untapped app wherever you find your apps. So there we go. Yes. So I think that body positivity, fat acceptance, I think accepting our bodies is a good thing. There's nothing inherently wrong with having a body that is not the status quo. And that is something that I think we are fighting to get people to understand. And it's something that the world is very slowly coming around to that idea.
Mm-hmm.
That you should be accepted regardless of all of those kind of things, and your
Yeah.
size, and the way you look, and gender, and all of these other things. And it really is this like, it does feel like it's this last thing that still has a long way to go before people really accept it. So
Yeah, it's definitely something that's hard to kind of talk about sometimes, about finding that place where you can accept yourself. I think that's a, like, accept yourself for who you are and what you are, all that stuff. It takes some time. I struggle with it from time to time and get those internal voices that are telling you otherwise. And you just gotta, I've been doing some more meditation lately, trying to do that every evening just to kind of center myself and remember what's important, what's going on, what I'm grateful for, that kind of stuff. It's been really helpful to kind of calm me down. And, with everything going on, it's been very helpful just to find a center and remember that I'm worthy and, all that kind of stuff. It's been nice to get back to that a little bit. It definitely is helping.
absolutely. And I think seeing positive portrayals of fat people or plus size people, bigger people, whatever the term is that you want to use, seeing positive portrayals of people in media and in marketing makes such a big difference. And I really think, for example, with you guys at Bearskin, showing your customers these bigger people who are wearing your products, I think
Yeah.
it's such an important thing, because you don't see bigger people put out there in a positive light.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely love sharing customer photos, but we also like to, when we do photo shoots, we try to do things where people are having fun and they're happy and they're like confident. Like, it's hard to find, and you definitely don't, like you said, you don't see that out there in traditional marketing. So it's nice to really push that envelope and really push that out there, that big people are happy and they are enjoying their lives and whatever they're doing. And yeah, we're starting to get a little bit more with, like, oh my goodness, the show that you were on Hulu,
Shrill. Yeah.
Shrill. I was like, I just lost it. And just seeing she's just a normal person, but she happens to be big, and just her normal struggles with dating and family, and
Right.
just a normal person, and seeing bigger bodies on magazines and, all that kind of stuff. It's slowly coming around. And,
Right.
there's always going to be those haters or trolls or whatever that are online, or even in person. You just got to let it go and try to do your best to,
Right.
not let it affect you so much. And
Right, and it's one of the reasons that having communities out there that are pushing fat acceptance and body acceptance, that's why it's so important, because you're getting all of this negative feedback, and whether it's on the internet from trolls or whether it's in real life, having communities or people that you can go to that love you for who you are and celebrate you for who you are, I think is very important, and everybody deserves that. So
yeah, and I think finding those groups online is even, trying to maybe find a Zoom chat or, whatever, because it's even more important now to try to connect with a like-minded people or friends or whatever. And, that's
Right.
hard to do with social distancing as much. So finding those online groups or blogs or whatever that you can be reading and, hearing other people's experiences and just kind of having a like-minded conversation about whatever is going on is really important, even more so now, I think.
Absolutely. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of where we stand on this idea. Is it glorifying obesity? You know what? To me, that doesn't matter. I think we should be glorified. Everybody should be glorified. We should be happy with who we are. And body positivity, fat acceptance, these different movements, these different ideas, I think are really important for people who need it. So that's what it comes down to. So.
And I think on the notes of RuPaul, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else?
There we go.
Yes.
Very true. All right.
True wisdom.
Well, good. Well, here we go. We've done another one. I think we've solved another of the world's problems.
We're conquering the world one issue at a time, Bruce.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast.